A new home should be an exciting time for anyone. Buying your first house is a dream come true, while others may find it when they're downsizing or relocating to a new city. And for our next Reddit user, it was a gift from her father. But their new abode had a terrifying secret hidden inside its walls that neither of them could have expected. Our next Reddit user was moving into her first place after her dad gifted it to her. She told her story on the r/Just-No-Mail subreddit. It was 2019 when my dad gifted me his house. Always said that if I ever needed a place to live, the house was mine. And given my student loan debt and current living situation, he finally convinced me to take him up on his offer. I was getting the house for free and clear. My only stipulations were that I get renter's insurance and keep up with all the maintenance. We agreed that it would be best if I moved in within 6 months so that he could downsize to a smaller condo. That way he wouldn't be alone in such a big house. He also wanted to move closer to my brother. I went through all the necessary paperwork, paid for the insurance policy, and even took some time to clean up the house and paint a few rooms. Before I officially moved in, the house itself was huge. There were 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a massive backyard that needed a lot of work. I ended up putting most of my stuff into storage until I could deal with the yard and plant some things that would actually make it look nice instead of just weedy. It was definitely a project, but that didn't bother me. The reason why I say this is because one night at around 3 a.m., I was awoken by what sounded like screams in the middle of the night. They sounded like they were coming from the walls themselves. At first I thought it was a dream because it couldn't possibly be anything else. But then it happened again the next night. And then the night after that, and every night after that. They never got any louder or softer. They just continued night after night. So I started doing some research. It turns out that there are small tunnels that run between the studs in the walls. I don't know what they're used for, but these are clearly making a lot of noise. And I've learned that the only way to stop them is to remove the drywall and insulate the walls. I'm not exactly handy, and I do not really have the money to hire someone to do this either. So I've been trying to put it off until I can save up enough. But it's becoming more and more of a problem because the noises have been keeping me up at night and making me miserable in my own home. I love my dad, so it makes me sad that I haven't been able to tell him about this because he lives in a different state and I do want to impose on him. On top of that, he's retired and doesn't have much money himself. But he already gave me such a huge gift, and I do want to ask him to help pay for something that is my responsibility now. I've tried talking to my brother about it because he lives close by, and he did try listening for the sounds, but he couldn't hear anything. He suggested that I just ignore them, but they're driving me insane. Also, I'm sure that he has no idea how to fix this either. It's more of a computer guy. That's where she asked for advice. So let's see what the internet had to say. Well, the general consensus was that she needed to tell her dad. Many people agreed that it was her dad's responsibility to fix the problem, since he gave her the house. One person said, listen, your father loves you and would never want you to live in a house where you are uncomfortable. Your father would likely feel terrible knowing you are in distress and hiding it from him. Another added, he probably won't be able to help up financially, but he will absolutely be able to help up emotionally and practically. He might have great contacts or know exactly who to call. Op needs her dad, not just for the house, but for life. Many users pointed out that Dad had probably intended for her to tell him about these kinds of issues so he could sort it out. One said, down to Op's level, Op, I bet your dad would love to help you. Don't string him along. Call him. Another mentioned the possibility that it could be a legal issue. There may be laws requiring a landlord to provide a habitable dwelling. It may be worth looking into your local laws to see if this could apply to your situation. If your father gifted you the house, he may still be considered a landlord under these circumstances. Another person added, even if it's not legally required, morally, he should be helping. You weren't the one who made those tunnels. Should be the one making them safe for you to live in. If he wants to, he can make the argument that he doesn't have the money. But if he's willing to help, that should be enough. After reading all this, Op updated us on the situation. She said, wow, thank you to everyone who commented. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all the advice and kind words. You guys were right. I shouldn't have waited this long to talk to my dad. I called him last night, and he was so helpful. He gave me the contact info of a handyman that he trusts, and even offered to split the cost with me. The noise is still really annoying, and it's hard to sleep, but I'm glad that I'll finally be able to do something about it. Thanks again to everyone who commented. This was really helpful. And a special thanks to you, Glitterbomb 45,678 for the Silver Award. It's good to see that Ob finally reached out to her dad, but it does make you wonder what he was thinking. Was he hoping that she would just deal with the screaming walls? Because that wouldn't have been very smart on his part. I mean, if you're gifting someone a house, you should at least check that it doesn't have any creepy crawlies inside the walls. What do you think Op's dad was thinking? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you liked this story, stay tuned for more Just No Mail content.